To order, we're here to meet with the city of Smelterville to hear about the annexation of Commerce Drive, and who wants to do the talking? Let us know what's going on.
Well, we're ready to annex. I mean, we've been working on this for a couple of years. You know, we're just waiting for you guys, I guess. It's been with the attorney upstairs there for quite a while.
What are we annexing?
All the county property.
All the county property. Okay.
Okay. So you have me at a little disadvantage. The attorney upstairs didn't mention anything.
Well, they've had all this stuff for quite some time. We're actually going to annex everything from the sawmill, because the sawmill already is in the city. All the way, and so is Walmart, so are the apartments. So we just want to kind of just finish it up, is what we're wanting to do.
Okay.
So where would the line go to?
Just basically from the Smelterville sewer pond, all the way to the sawmill, and from where the city limits are now, you know, and to the freeway.
Okay. And you guys would be taking Commerce Drive in with it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You said that with a smile.
It needs some work.
Okay. Well, I don't have legal here, and they didn't appraise me on this, because I don't think we knew. I just read that you wanted to talk about Commerce Drive, so has legal got back to you with any information?
They have, but it was going along pretty good and everything else. I mean, we were making some headway on this and getting it done, and then in January, it just that was it. It just kind of stopped.
As far as legal went, or?
Just everything, just pretty much all correspondence back and forth and everything else. I mean, we have the same attorney you do.
Yeah. Now, did you get permission from all the property owners?
The county's the ones we're starting with first, because.
Okay, so you
the way
just
the-
start-
way the- Yes, because the way the rules are, is once we get going, then it's just continuous. Anything under 6 acres, we can just annex it on our own.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, and as you guys probably know, you know, I was on the phone one day with the interested parties that are, you know, want to put the Maverik store in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know exactly what you guys have going on there, but they expressed interest in working with the city. And in order for them to get their financing, the annexation has to be done.
Okay.
That's, one of the problems they have is the floodplain issue, and that's what we're trying to deal with. And so really, yeah, they didn't indicate to us that, but they can annex, anybody can annex at any time, so it doesn't
Well-
anything to do with us really, except for the property it's owned over there.
Okay, so what's the floodplain issue? I've heard different stories. What
Go
they
ahead,
do.
Dan.
Well, as we know, that property is 1/3, the bottom 1/3 southwest, southwest 1/3 is in the floodway designated area, and the top 2/3 is in the floodplain. And so any development in that floodway area is required to have a no-rise certificate to demonstrate that whatever development is happening in that area. And in this case, their fuel islands and their southwest corner of their building is encroaching into that designated area. So we told them since the get-go that they needed a no-rise certificate to demonstrate that development wasn't going to cause a rise in the floodplain.
And they kinda indicated that you guys were interested in pushing that through.
I'll push it through. I mean, I've dealt with FEMA several times over the years. I've been mayor out there for almost 28 years.
Okay.
And, I've taken the ride in the car with them a few times, got my ass chewed a few times, and it really doesn't bother me. You know, I mean, we're trying to keep our city surviving and meet tax base and everything else, and, I mean, I know the people of the whole county want this to go in. I mean, it was all over the papers and everybody's all excited and gonna have a new business and everything else, and then all of a sudden we're running into this great big roadblock. I think it's just something we need to make happen. And I know the county needs it too, because from what I understand, the money that you're gonna generate from the sale of the property is gonna help with the new jail, is that correct?
With property, purchase of property.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to go towards the purchase of some property on the end of town here. Well, there's no doubt the county would like to see this thing move forward. And Jeff has kind of been doing the negotiating with the Maverik folks.
And one of the biggest problems we have is the EPA, is FEMA. And, you know, we've gone through this with Dan, you know, they came back and they were going to, then they basically.
The last discussion
reduced
we
the
had, they were
insurance.
gonna go solicit engineers to complete the no-rise. So they could get that done and get it moving and.
See, one of the things is we don't want trouble with FEMA. Can you kind of explain that, Dan?
Well, our ordinance prohibits the issuance of a permit without a proper no-rise certificate, and that proper no-rise certificate requires a hydraulic study done in a fashion that meets FEMA's requirements. A simple letter that says we don't think it is not sufficient. There's a hydraulic process to go through to recreate the modeling, demonstrate that you've recreated the modeling, and then produce a new model that shows that your encroachment is not going to cause a rise in that particular area. So until anybody can submit that, we're required to follow our ordinance and follow our requirements. We required the grocery outlet to do it. We've required numerous homeowners up the North Fork to do it. So we can't very well not do it now. When you're in when you're in a floodway designated area, that's the requirement we have, is to produce that study.
And they
we can
are.
do that. I've talked with Alta specifically about it. They think they can get it done for them. We talked with the Maverik folks about it. They were gonna go solicit their help and make that happen on with their efforts. That was as of last Thursday, so.
Cause I haven't talked to him since before then.
Okay, so what it would be, in your understanding, what would be the next thing you need from the county as far as going forward with your annexation?
Well, basically, if you just send us a letter petitioning for the county property to be annexed into the city, then we can go ahead with this.
How long will that take?
Probably, 45 days, would you say, from the time we get the letter?
Well,
Cause it has to be advertised in the paper.
and we have to have a meeting.
We have to have a meeting and things like that, so,
So the sooner we did something, the better.
yeah.
Okay. Tracy, are you still hearing all this?
I am hearing it, yeah.
Okay.
And Ben's been on this,
No, Ben's not here.
okay, but he's started the process with the paperwork and,
I
Of what
have
needs to be
started
done?
the process with the majority of the paperwork. It's
The
pretty much all
neighbor,
done.
Heidi has started the process.
But I was under the impression that Maverik already owned it, and that's why they were contacting me to be annexed in. So all the paperwork I've done is in Maverik's name, but I mean, that's just a formality. But I have all the legal descriptions and the notices ready. I just
okay.
need a green light, basically.
We have some kind of map system that shows all the property county that will be annexed into Smelterville, right, Dave?
It has to be published with everything, so that would have to be
Okay.
approved. It'll be a whole map and legal descriptions.
So we share the same attorney, so our attorney should know the boundaries or the description that we're talking about, the property description.
Mm-hmm.
Should.
Okay. And they can ask for it at any time, so I mean, it's really no skin off the county to have it
Right.
annexed in, so.
Right, I see no reason not to proceed with that. Public Works, do you have any thoughts in this process? Any feedback, input?
Not really, we just weren't sure where this was at, we heard some chatter, we had heard some chatter about the possibility of this happening, for the last several months, but really nothing firm. And so really that's why, you know, I asked Shane to come to this meeting, because we weren't sure if it was county properties, if it was just Commerce Drive that we were talking about annexing. You know, from our department standpoint, as far as concern with annexing Commerce Drive itself, we would have no concerns with that.
Is there any concerns about annexing the property on your end, on all the property?
None specific, no, there's, just the history of the road and taking the road in with the properties.
Okay.
I'd like to see the maps, cause I'm fearing spot annexations, but as long as everything's adjacent, it should work out just fine. It sounds like it probably is.
This would do everything from Smelterville out to the freeway.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there any spot
Sounds reasonable.
annexations?
You know, the only spot I'm worried, cause I'm not exactly sure how much, what the size of that, I should know because I work for it, but I'm not exactly sure how big that parcel is that Sonic Automotive still owns between the Forest Service building and Walmart, cause I know if it's over 6 acres, then we'll have to send them a letter and ask them, but I think it's just under.
Okay.
I wanna say it's 5, but I could be wrong.
That would be convenient. Okay. All right, any questions, Commissioner Casady?
No,
Okay,
it sounds reasonable to me. Get it going.
any further questions or comments on your part? Okay. We have distinguished guests here today. Did you guys come specifically with a comment or a thought on this?
Not for this one, just to listen.
Okay. All right, giving everybody a chance to speak. It sounds like what you need is a letter, that asks you to annex, right?
Yep, just a petition, it just makes it a lot quicker, you know, if you guys actually petition.
Okay. Well, let me ask the commission, are you guys ready to move forward with a motion to, work with legal and draft a letter?
Sure.
That's,
Sure.
you, okay, I'll take 2 sures. Okay, I would entertain a
I
motion.
so moved to make the make the motion to annex the city of Smelterville.
Make a motion
Take
to
property
send them a
county to
letter
the city.
asking them to annex.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. All right, so
Thank you.
we will work on the letter.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, we will adjourn this meeting.